All right, let's open with a prayer. I open the service with a prayer, and I open this prayer with what I know to be the most potent words that I can speak. Thank you. We're grateful to be here today to learn about happiness, and we're grateful to be here today to learn about it with the happiest people you'll ever want to meet. We're grateful to understand that with happiness, we can be the giver and the receiver in big ways and in small, everyday wonder type of ways. Looking within to joy and contentment, I continue this prayer by recognizing that there is only one God, known by many names, but still only one Father, Mother, Parent, Creator of the one life. That life is perfect, complete, divine, and it is my life now and the life of all people, all animals, all nature, and all of us here, out there, and everywhere come together, united as one family. So from the place of spirit-made satisfaction and well-being and emotions that nurture our personal growth and spiritual development, I declare our hearts and minds open as we show up here this morning to learn the spiritual principles that form the foundation of our faith and to trust what we know is true of spirit within us today, tomorrow, and eternally. And so it is. Good morning. My name is Pat Ferguson, and I'm your practitioner spiritual director for 2022. I missed you last week when I took an unexpected personal day, and I did that because the day before I introduced my chin and lower teeth to the marble corner of the kitchen island and knocked 3 of them very loose. And so for days they were quite painful and it hurt to talk. So there was no way I could be here with you. But that just shows you sometimes things happen when you least expect them. And so this morning I thought I would be telling you that Reverend Carolyn Harville will be sharing about the emotions of happiness and all the wonderful side effects. And hopefully that by the time you leave here today, you'll be feeling like Pharrell Williams' Room Without a Roof, meaning like the world has opened up endless, exhilarating, and positive possibilities all around you, and that nothing can hold you down. Well, Reverend Carolyn's not going to be here, but Vicky's going to do those same things. And so I still expect you to leave here feeling like a room without a roof. But as some of you may know, or you may not know, Reverend Carolyn is taking care of Bob. He's having some procedures done. And so we're just knowing for them that those things will happen easily and gracefully, and they welcome your prayers that the completion of those things can be just as they expected and in a short period of time. We're going to keep and hold that good thought for them because they are always on our mind and always with us. As is my custom, I open my morning prayers by lighting that candle that welcomes you. I always hope it'll be the first thing you see when you bring it, when you pop into the Zoom room, because I want you to know that no matter where you come from, how you were raised spiritually or religiously, or even if this is your first faith experience, you are welcome here. All are welcome here. And I want you to know that every single Sunday. Join me, if you will, in saying our mission and vision statement. Our mission statement is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God. Our mission statement is a world that honors, our vision statement, I'm sorry, is a world that honors and respects all people. Okay, welcome this week's Practitioner of the Week, Tammy Ellis. I'm happy to be alive and living a joyful life. And Tammy will do our spiritual reading and meditation. Tammy?
Good morning. That does it for me every time. Listening to that song it always makes me laugh to see Robin Williams and those guys just dancing around. My reading today is from a book by Barbara Johnson. She's one of my favorite authors on humor. And this book is called Pack Up Your Gloomies in a Great Big Box and Sit on the Lid and Laugh. And so this is a reading in her book about some of the benefits of experiencing laughter, happiness, and joy. Laughter helps you relax and unwind. It also strengthens our immune system. Research shows that when you have a really good laugh, the body produces more immunoglobulin A, the body's warrior against upper respiratory infections. Happiness also improves our circulation by increasing the heart rate and boosting the oxygen supply to the brain. This is part of what helps you relax and calm down. Lynn Erdman, coordinator of the nursing services in a large cancer treatment center, was quoted by saying of laughter, "You feel like the burdens of the world have been lifted from you." At her hospital, she likes to pass out prescriptions for laughter that warn patients of hemorrhoids. And what is the cure for hemorrhoids? A mild laxative. A mild laxative. It's hard to say. Laughter is a way to live an enriched life. We can also consider doing some pleasurable things for happiness, like enjoying a tasty meal, listening to favorite music, watching the embers of a beautiful fire, and now watching spring, all the flowers and the trees bud out in spring. What brings you happiness for you? And here's a short story about her life, Barbara's life. It's called Olive Oil and Pet Shampoo. Bill, my husband, and I were planning to leave Friday noon for a weekend conference near Denver when I was to speak several times. I had made an appointment to have my hair done early Friday morning, giving us plenty of time to get to the airport. The night before, however, I had decided to give my hair my super home conditioning treatment by saturating my scalp with heavy olive oil. Yes, I know you can buy oil treatments at the store, but I guess I'm a little cheap. After applying the oil, I wrapped my head in a towel and went to bed, confident in the morning my hair would be sleek and glossy after it was washed, of course. Just as I was about to leave for the beauty shop early Friday morning, my hairdresser called and said, "Barb, our power is out. We have no hot water." "But my hair and my scalp are scalded," I said, "or soaked with olive oil," I said. "What am I going to do?" She suggested I find some shampoo that had coal tar in it. So I was thinking, at 7 a.m., how am I going to get some shampoo with that stuff in it? So I rewrapped my oily head in a towel and I headed to the store. And somehow I found Sargent's pet shampoo that had pine tar in it. So I dashed home and I soaked up twice with dog shampoo, rubbing it in real good, just as Judy had instructed. Then I called her, only to learn that her electric power was still out, so she couldn't help me. My appointment was down the drain. So what to do next? I was on my own, equipped only with dog shampoo and no hair dryer, because I have my hair done every week. I don't have one. Then I remembered our good old Electrolux vacuum cleaner, the same vacuum cleaner with the super suction power. I dragged the vacuum out of the closet, plugged it in, and reversed the suction to turn it into a mighty blower. Then I lay down on the rug, hoping the warm air would do the drying job. Eventually, my hair did dry, but I had two problems. Now I smelled like tar or whatever was in that shampoo, and instead of looking shiny and glossy, my well-blown hair made me look like a porcupine caught in a high wind. So anyway, I went to the conference and had a good time. So I hope y'all enjoyed that story and got a chuckle. And so as we move to the meditation, or as I love, Beverly, how you call it, contemplation, or things to ponder, you'll take a nice deep breath in and consider these ways we can put more laughter and joy and happiness into our life. Make a list of fun things you enjoy doing and do them. Hang around positive people. Immerse yourself in humor. Watch cartoons or funny movies. Spend Saturday night at a comedy club. Your lunch hour at a costume shop. Weekends with the kids or grandkids playing. Learn jokes and tell them. Start with one, and people may tell you their favorites. Focus on seeing and creating ambiguity, forming puns. Sometimes you might see these in newspaper headlines or bumper stickers or billboards or signs when you're out and about. Look for humor in everyday situations. If you overhear something funny, write it down so you can remember to repeat it to others. Just laugh more often and more heartily. Work on great big belly laughs, not just chuckles. Watching babies laugh and coo, and their beautiful sounds. And last but not least, learn to find humor in difficult situations in the midst of stress. This is what we really need when we really need it, and when your sense of humor abandons you most often. So as we take another nice deep breath in, just bringing that in and being open to more of this happiness, laughter, and joy in our lives, and release.
Thank you, Tammy. Now, if you're happy and you know it, sing this super simple song with the Muppets.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Hooray!
Hooray! That song is so fun. I was just absolutely tickled to know that our team had found it, and it was actually Reverend Carolyn's suggestion. And for those of you who know Reverend Carolyn, and for those of you who don't, she is the best laugher in the world. Reverend Carolyn Harville can find the comedy and the ability to just have that belly laugh about anything. And so as I open this morning, I just first want to acknowledge that we were all really looking forward to her bringing her gifts to this topic of when you're happy and you know it. And I absolutely know that she is with us here in spirit today. Actually, we've been in touch by email this morning. And I am just so very glad and grateful to be able to take up this most especially fun topic for her. So, who's ready to get happy? Clearly, I really didn't need to say that because I know we all are, but that's just the shift. Our theme for May is emotions. And last week, we started by spending some much needed time with our fears. We talked about how through self-kindness and self-compassion, we can transform the energy of fear into working for us rather than against us, and how from there we can easily move from fear to faith and from faith to love. We also talked about one way to simplify what can feel like very complex emotions by recognizing that generally all emotions come down to either fear or love. So today, the talk title is When You're Happy and You Know It, as the song says, which is love-based, love-filled emotion. And we are going to catch the wave of happiness and spend some time entertaining happiness and joy to see how and where we can experience these marvelous emotions more deeply and more consistently, even honoring the whole spectrum of the emotions of our life, even honoring the challenges we've had, the grief we've had. And so we're going to engage happiness from three perspectives. Distinguishing the differences between happiness and joy is number one. Number two, happiness in being alive and feeling good about living. And three, learning about happiness and joy through demonstrations in prayer. Happiness and joy are two words in English that are easily interchanged in our culture as meaning the same thing, but really they have distinct and special meanings. And we're going to start there. So exploring and learning to recognize the differences in your personal experience is one way for the power of awareness to naturally increase your experience of happiness and joy in your life. So I want to invite you to take a moment and ask yourself about this right now. What are some examples that you would call feeling happy? And really just, sit with it for a moment. Think about, when do I recognize I'm just really feeling happy? And then on the other hand, when are some times that you feel joy-filled? If you think about it, we actually say these two things distinctly too. We say, I'll be happy when. It's not very often we say, I'll be filled with joy when. our system organically knows there is a distinct difference. So if you research this topic for yourself, you may find perspectives that say achieving joy is loftier and more spiritually mature than happiness. But actually, this could not be farther from the truth. In human terms, happiness is a powerful generator of the feel-good chemistry in the brain, which was already mentioned this morning. It's a wonderful synchronicity. And that we've been talking about that recently. And that process of feeling that happiness regularly and those biochemicals regularly in our daily living is important to physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Joy is truly one of the gifts of the Spirit. Most of you have probably heard in all kinds of different faith faces, certainly Christianity, that there are fruits of the Spirit, and joy is one of them. And the thing is that that sense of joy, the gifts of the Spirit, are for this life and beyond. And so human happiness and joy actually work together. So there's a spiritually based website that I discovered as I was researching this. Is compassion.com. And it offers an excellent clarity about the distinction between happiness and joy. So as we consider this, remember to realize that both happiness and joy are equally important, and deeper awareness of how and when we experience these two personally. This is going to be unique to each and every one of you. It opens up whole new worlds of your potential to recognize how you can be happy and know it. So compassion.com suggests joy is lasting in the heart. Happiness is on the face of people and experiences. Joy is of the soul. Happiness lives in the moment. Joy transcends conditions. Happiness responds to conditions. Joy embraces peace and contentment, waiting to be discovered. Joy runs deep and overflows, while happiness hugs hello. I love that one. Of all of these, I got to say that's my favorite one. Happiness hugs hello. And I can just see, you know, if we could be together, we would just be like open arms. Happiness hugs hello. Joy is a practice and a behavior. It is deliberate and intentional. Happiness comes and goes along the way. Joy is profound. Don't worry, rejoice. Happiness is a balm, a salve. Don't worry, be happy. Joy is an inner feeling. Happiness is our outward creative expression. Joy endures hardship and trials and connects with meaning and purpose. A person pursues happiness, but chooses joy. Choose joy, practice joy, know joy, live joy, feel happiness. For every person who says joy is an underlying truth that good or bad circumstances can't dictate, and that our feeling happy or not is dependent upon circumstance, for every one of those, there will be others who think the opposite, that joy is just a state of mind, the outcome of the mind seeking happiness and focused on pleasure, pleasing, and other types of pleasant thoughts and visions and dreams. Despite the different human perspectives, experiencing happiness depends on external factors. For example, in moments when we're thinking and feeling, I'll be happy when I get that better job, or I'll be happy when I have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, etc., etc. Happiness happens to us. Even though we may seek it, desire it, pursue it, etc., feeling happiness is not as much of a choice. We make a choice, on the other hand, to be joyful, and we are purposeful as joy is made. Happiness doesn't bring joy, and joy isn't the byproduct of happiness. The fulfillment of a desire, the achievement of a goal, or the completion of a project can bring thoughts and feelings of great happiness. But as the experiences in the moment peak and then subside, we have treasured memories of the happiness, but the actual feeling of happiness has subsided into becoming a memory. The well of joy runs deep and wide. Joy is a fruit of the Spirit, and when we find joy, it's infused with comfort and wrapped in peace that runs deeper than the concerns that come and go in daily life. It's a connection of the heart and spirit. So here's a personal example of both happiness and joy that happened in a singular event. And this has just happened, so it's fun for me to report within this talk. On Thursday, we celebrated Vernon's birthday, and I had been planning a surprise for him for months. So as his birthday actually came, the fulfillment of my wish for him made me very happy. But even as quickly as the next morning, the feelings of happiness we shared in its precious memory became just that, a memory. It is in the deepening of the relationships with friends and family that comes by sharing such an experience of happiness that the experience of the connection and love that we have is deeper and lasting. And that is the deepening of joy. That's the part that doesn't come and go with conditions. With this in mind, a person might make special note of moments of happiness and experiences of joy in a journal, say as a special part of a gratitude journal. In her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, which I think is a fabulous title, and I've not seen this book, but I'm putting it on my list, by Brene Brown, the book, The Gifts of Imperfection, Brene Brown said, in addition to creating happiness in our lives, cultivate the spiritual practices that lead to joyfulness, especially gratitude. We need to live from a place of gratitude and joy. There is a rich and poignant real-life example found in the autobiographical story of C.S. Lewis. He wrote it in his book, Surprised by Joy, which was made into the movie Shadowlands. C.S. Lewis, who most of you may know, wrote the Narnia Chronicles, for one thing, was among the most exquisite combination of spiritually philosophical and artistically creative beings of our modern times. His insights and talents were a gift to all humanity, and he knew it. While he was by no means arrogant, he was very self-assured. His achievements and the admiration of his fans had brought him to a level of contentment that was the best he could expect of happiness until he was in his mid-50s. He had grown used to having to look for challenges in life and relationships with people for stimulation because everything else was going so well, there just wasn't any of that kind of challenge. And then, when he least expected it, Spirit brought him to true tests and lessons through his first timeless love with Joy Gresham, who became his wife. Joy Gresham brought C.S. Lewis happiness unimagined. It was to unimaginable peaks. He said, I never imagined a person could be so happy. Very shortly after they found each other, his wife Joy taught him the most profound experience of joy as the couple faced realizing that she had developed bone cancer. In the midst of it all, he told her, you know, I don't want to be somewhere else anymore, not waiting for anything new to happen, not looking around the next corner or over the next hill. I'm here now, and that's enough. That's your kind of happy, isn't it? Joy said. Within the same scene, she said, it won't last, Jack. I am going to die, and I want to be with you then too. And I think we can make it better than just getting through it. I mean that the sadness then is part of our happiness now. And that's the deal. Spiritually, this points to realizing that the spectrum of emotions we feel, fear, happiness, anger, sadness, are not exclusive to each other. We have tended to be conditioned to believe that if we're happy, with no other feelings mixed in, and the same being true of all the other feelings. Like we only have the capacity to feel one at a time. In fact, sadness can be an element of our richest happiness, etc. Thich Nhat Hanh said, if we are not in contact and connection with pain, we cannot know what real happiness is, as C.S. Lewis clearly discovered. And if any of you get a chance to watch that movie, the book is good too, but the movie is priceless. The movie was done by Anthony Hopkins and Deborah Winger, and it right now is on YouTube. You can see the whole movie. You just click it on YouTube and it's right there. I did it yesterday to make sure that I got all this straight. And truly, truly, it's a metaphysical movie. Realizing the freedom that comes with unconditioned happiness and deeper joy brings us to the second point, and that is what a privilege it is to be alive and feeling good about our purpose for simply living because we are alive. In everyday conversation, the miracle of life does get mentioned sometimes, but the opportunity within this talk would not be fulfilled if we left out the miracle that you are and the miracle your life is. As you hear this suggestion, know that I am not discounting the reality that many people are living through tremendous challenges right now. Absolutely. When you are facing or living through challenges, those challenges must be direct addressly. That was interesting. Those challenges must be addressed directly. Still, whether we look at this from the universal oneness of spirit expressing limitlessly, individually through people, animals, plants, insects, places, and things, and ourselves personally, or how it is that in human terms, we originate as a single cell and develop into such infinitely complex creatures from the ground up, is truly an incalculable miracle. And it is true of every type of life form and every individual life. And the individual expression of spirit that you are today will never be expressed exactly the same again. What you bring to this life right now is possible through you alone. I caught on to this importance in a perspective just a few days ago, reading an article from Scientific American. There was a commentary on whether or not throughout the endless numbers of galaxies that are now confirmed to exist, there are other beings mostly like us or not. This article was highlighting that even given the very high probability of life on other places throughout the universe, the chances of such precise combinations as necessary for the chain of life leading to human beings anywhere close to being actually like ourselves would be nearly impossible to repeat. It is a unique recipe. There are too many variables that have to develop in just the right way with just the right sequence to actually even count or calculate. As beings of universal consciousness, we are timeless. And spirit, the omniscient intelligence that supports us being here, is divine and present in, through, and as all that is. In that, we are never alone with respect to a source for calm assurance and joy underlying the apparent turmoil of any present condition. So finally, as I was preparing for this presentation, I had the great pleasure of talking through some examples of what it feels like to experience answers to prayer with a prayer partner. We talked about the feelings that go into turning to the conviction of faith with intention, and then how it feels when that or something even greater happens as a result of our prayer. As we consider this here now, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on a time when you experienced an answer to prayer, a time when you felt the presence of Spirit move in your experience. Considering that for a moment, there is the immediate happiness for the details of what has happened, and more than that, there is the indescribable deep joy of knowing our connection to the divine and source. Now, just as a quick example of this, one of the things that has stuck out for me for weeks now, and I really don't know why, there was a time long before I met Vernon. I was actually still in my first marriage, and I went to work each day on a van pool. My husband had dropped me off in this place for the van pool, and we didn't know I had missed my van. My van was not coming, and I had gotten myself a new pair of shoes. This is when I was not on a cane or crutches. I had gotten myself a brand new pair of shoes, and I was all dressed up for a meeting that day, and I had developed a blister on the back of my heel, and I'm standing there in this parking lot figuring out there isn't anybody coming, and I was at a Catholic church in the parking lot, and so I walked around this Catholic church with this blister on my heel. It hurt so bad, and they had these statues of the saints lining this walkway up to the doors of this church, and the church was locked. There was nobody there. And so I, coming back down this walkway, having gone around the church, I stopped at the statue of St. Peter, and I said, "Oh, dear God, St. Peter, I know I don't have an active relationship with you." I said, "But here you are, and here I am, and I'm telling you, I need help right now. I don't know what I'm going to do." And I explained my situation, and I swear to God, you guys, within 3 minutes, a van pulled up, and I mean, they could have been going anywhere in Houston, Texas, and they were late themselves. They were an hour and a half late, and they were going like 2.5 blocks from where I worked, and I got to work that day. And that feeling of profound happiness was just a rush. But the thing that sticks with me today is the profound and deep and lasting joy of knowing that connection that we have with Spirit. And it doesn't matter which language we're speaking, as long as we are coming from here. And so this week, I encourage you to wake up each day recognizing not only that you are magnificent, but that you are a magnificent miracle. Notice moments when you feel happy. Notice what you're happy about, and then witness how long the spark of that feeling lasts and when it becomes a memory. When do you start looking for the next cause for happiness? And notice the same about joy. What brings you deeper, lasting joy that can't be toppled by everyday trials and tribulations? And then if you keep a prayer journal or a gratitude journal, notice the feelings you have communing with Spirit in prayer and answers to prayer. Notice your happiness about the details and the outcomes, and notice what that does for how you feel and the deeper sense of communion you have with Spirit as a timeless being. And also, I just want to absolutely plug in here, I did not know the richness that Tammy would be offering about the power of laughter. Absolutely, you guys, follow Tammy's instructions. And so just in closing, Ernest Holmes brings us this. The time has come. The power from within has come forth and is expressing through my word. I do not have to wait. Today is the day. Today I enter into the truth. Today I am completely saved and healed and made happy. Today I enter into my inheritance as a child of the One. Today the truth has made me free. Amen. And actually that's an amen there, but I am going to do a closing treatment. From wherever you are, however you are in your internal life right now, know that we are circled up as one human family within the people that are listening to the sound of my voice here and now, and for the people listening in the future. I recognize the one life the one power, the one presence that is love and law, manifest at the level of the highest possible good in, through, and as each and every being, in, through, and as each and every opportunity, in mind, heart, and soul. And from that alignment, I realize in my experience of each and every person touched by this opportunity that their good is at hand, that the time has come for they to arise in happiness and joy, unbounded by the limitations of the spectrum that we know as the range of human emotions, that it's all one package, one good, one divine right action in every living moment. And for this truth and for the knowing of it and for the words sent forth to be made manifest in each person's individual experience and for this community of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living collectively, I say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Presence of Life, for the happiness and for the joy and for each other and for life and love everlasting. I just lift it up into the law, knowing it is done. I let it be, and so it is.
Thank you, Vicky. Such a beautiful message and a great invitation to keep practicing joy so we have that expression of happiness. And so I'm going to say the prosperity affirmation once, and then if you'll please join with me in saying it together. I am free to believe that prosperity is mine. Yes. Now if you'll say it with me. I am free to believe that prosperity is mine. Yes. And we appreciate all the gifts and talents and time to our center, to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. And thank you. Vicky has the beautiful basket there for to signify our receiving. And I pass it to you for the blessing.
One God, one life, one supply. Thank you for being the light from within that halos our talents, time, and treasures, and causes us to understand that the flow of all three from us is the same flow that circles back to us multiplied. We are grateful to be blessed in such ways, both as a center and individually. Blessing the gift and the giver, I offer these words to the law that always says yes, and I release them there to become evident. And so it is. Tammy?
And now for our announcements. So we have our men's group coming up on May 19th, Thursday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I know the guys really enjoy getting together, so if you'd like to join them, you're very welcome. And our annual meeting will be coming up, discussing the state of the center, the events of for up to December 2021. So looking at the year of 2021, and that'll be next Sunday at our service, May 22nd.
I'm going to jump in here right now and just say, we're going to tell you how we did financially in the year 2021. We're going to talk about the future and going forward and where we are right at this moment. It won't be dull and you'll enjoy it. And it's important for you to be there. So we hope to see everybody and fill you in on the information that you'll want to know about.
Thank you, Pat. And then we also have there's a class coming up taught by Reverend Jesse Jennings. He's the Reverend in Spring around the Houston area. And I've been in many classes that he's taught. having become a practitioner there. And so he's an excellent teacher. If you'd like to join this, the Essential Ernest Holmes, he has edited different writings that Ernest Holmes has into this book and then discusses them. So I think it's something you'd enjoy very much if you'd like to join it. And Pat, I think you have an idea about how to join if people want to.
I have a link that is very fast and easy to get you there if you'd like to do it. This is a class that is accredited by CSL. It's called the Essential Ernest Holmes. And as Tammy said, Jesse didn't actually write the book, but he compiled all of Ernest Holmes' writing to produce this book. And no one is a greater authority on the writings of Ernest Holmes than Jesse Jennings. So there are two options. You can either take Thursday evening or Friday mornings. And but if you will let me know you're interested, I will send you a link, and it will be easier than trying to drill down from csl.org, which you can do, but it just takes a little bit of doing right now. So just let me know. Thank you.
And we just wanted to remind you that you are magnificent.
Yes, indeed, you are. And join us in singing together. Thank You for This Day by Karen Drucker.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. My opulent, my opulent, my opulent wealth. My opulent, my opulent, my opulent wealth. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you
Being happy doesn't mean everything's perfect. It means you've decided to look beyond the imperfections. Ending the service as we began, for the collective, I say thank you. Thank you to Spirit within each of us that gives us a sense of contentment from the mere embrace of our faith. Thank you for helping us in the coming week accept that happiness is an inside job, a choice, an enhancer of life if we choose it, live it, and use it as a force for good in the world. We are so blessed to have this day, our yesterday, and all of our tomorrows, blessed in our interconnectedness. We are simply blessed, and we know it, and we appreciate all we have and all we are capable of being when we accept not only who we are, but whose we are. As always, we're especially thankful for this philosophy that taught us God is within and we are never separated, not now, not ever. And on these and multiple other gratitudes, I lift our positive, joy-filled, and happy words of thanksgiving into a law that always says yes, automatically and impartially, and there I release them. And so it is.